Hello, kids. Welcome to Bentham's 1001 Stories. Today, I bring you a very special story from faraway China, called Sima Guang Smashes the Jar. This story is a classic that Chinese kids have been familiar with since childhood. However, today's version is specially adapted by Bentham, and it is also accompanied by beautiful pictures. Let's listen to the story together. A long time ago, there was a quiet little village where a little boy named Sima Guang lived. Sima Guang was smart and brave, and was a very popular kid in the village. He was always full of clever ideas, and everyone loved to follow him when playing games. That day, the sun shone on the open space in the backyard, and the air was filled with children's laughter. Sima Guang and a group of friends were playing hide and seek, chasing each other and running happily. "You can't catch me," a little boy laughed and ran past Sima Guang. Sima Guang was running while thinking, "Who will win today? This game is so interesting." He was laughing while hiding behind the water tank, and his eyes were quietly observing other children. Suddenly, a scream came from the laughter. A thin little boy climbed to the edge of the water tank and grabbed the edge of the water tank with both hands. "See how high I can jump," he said, and jumped up at once. However, he used too much force, lost his balance, and fell into the water tank with a plop. "Ah! Help!" The water in the tank flooded over the boy's shoulders. He struggled desperately in the water, waving his hands, and a look of horror appeared on his face. "Oh no! He fell into the water tank!" a little friend exclaimed, his eyes wide open, almost unable to believe his eyes. The other children were all stunned at once, and then some began to cry, and some turned around and ran to find adults for help. The yard was in chaos, and everyone was so anxious that they didn't know what to do. Sima Guang was also startled by the scene in front of him, but he didn't panic. "What should I do?" He was anxious, but forced himself to calm down. "Time is running out. I have to find a solution quickly." He ran to the water tank and looked around. He tried to reach the little boy in the water, but the water tank was too deep, and he couldn't reach it. Sima Guang's eyes quickly scanned the surroundings, looking for possible tools. Rope? No. Ladder? No. He frowned. "What should I do? If this goes on, my friend will be drowned." Suddenly, his eyes stopped on a big rock. Sima Guang's mind lit up. "Right! I can break the water tank and release the water." At this time, he was a little nervous again. "But the water tank is so big. Can I do it?" He hesitated for a moment, and then his eyes became firm. "No matter what, I must try. My friend's life is the most important." Sima Guang did not hesitate anymore. He bent down to move the big stone and lifted it up with force. Although the stone was heavy, he gritted his teeth and lifted it up. "It must succeed," he thought as he aimed at the water tank and smashed it. Bang! With a loud noise, the water tank cracked open and water quickly poured out of the tank. The little boy slid to the ground with the water flow. Although he was soaked and trembling, he was finally safe. "Are you okay?" Sima Guang ran over and grabbed the little boy, and the stone hanging in his heart was finally put down. Other children also gathered around, comforting the little boy one by one. Some patted his shoulders, and some helped him wipe the water drops on his face. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief and cast admiring eyes on Sima Guang. At this time, the adults finally arrived. Seeing the broken water tank and the wet little boy, they asked in surprise, "What happened?" The children rushed to tell how Sima Guang was quick-witted and used stones to break the water tank to save people. After listening to him, the adults smiled and patted Sima Guang on the shoulder, praising him and saying, "What a brave and smart child. He can stay calm when in danger. That's amazing." Sima Guang blushed slightly and said modestly, "I just wanted to save my friends. I hope everyone is okay." Since then, Sima Guang's brave story has spread in the village, and people even drew a picture for him to record the scene of him saving people. This story has also become a topic of conversation after dinner. Dear children, Sima Guang's story tells us that when we encounter difficulties, don't panic. We need to stay calm and think positively, and we can always find a way to solve the problem. I hope you can also face difficulties bravely like Sima Guang, and don't panic. Well, today's story ends here. Good night, and I wish you a good dream.